So why do employees get this "don't rush me, I get paid by the hour" attitude? Well, first of all, their pay's fixed. It's set. They're disconnected from what happens. If I'm hourly, my pay is set, and I know what it's going to be for the week or a month, plus or minus some overtime. And if I'm salaried, certainly my pay is fixed. It's unchanging. As an owner, as a manager, part of your pay is probably tied to what happens this month, this year, and you're taking in the information and watching what happens and trying to drive the performance. But our employees are in a completely different situation. Their pay is fixed, and they don't have the skin in the game that you do. Second of all, they're isolated from the fight. They don't know exactly what needs to happen if they're going to hit the goals for the company for this week, for this month, the goals that would need to happen if we were going to be able to afford to pay them more.
It's more about knowing where our company is and how well we're doing.
Which brings us back to the incentive. We know the numbers. We get to see the numbers, see what we have to do and what we've got coming up, and the good things that did happen.
It's great, and it's great for the people. They never had any type of incentive here, and this has really kicked up the amount of work we're getting out compared to what we were, and it's great.
Well, I bought the new car with the bonus check. Yeah, now we have a problem because we don't have enough business.
You're right.
That's why I'm saying to you, do you have any bright idea so we can get some more work, because we do everything so fast now.
If you went out and asked your employees what are the biggest problems that we're facing right now and what are our plans as a company to address those problems and make the performance happen, would they have the same answers that your management team would have? One of my favorite tests in working with a company as we're progressing with the Gainsharing installation is to go out to the office, to the shop, and ask the first person that I see, what do we need to do today? What do you need to do if we're going to hit our numbers to make the week and be in the hunt to get a bonus? And either they know right off the top of their head or they don't have any idea. And if they don't have any idea, that's our fault. We didn't tell them. And we would be in exactly the same spot if we changed places. It's not the individual that isn't motivated. It's our fault for not telling them what they need to do. And if we don't tell them, all they can do is try and look busy and try and good job, but they're operating in a vacuum that we've created for them. It's our fault.
If we had not put the Gainsharing in place, it would have been a lot tougher for us to achieve the things we've achieved right now. I mean, 3.5 years ago, we had a month where we had shipped $800,000 in 1 month. It was in January of 2001, I think. At that time, we had, I think, 56 employees, and I never thought we'd ever come close to that again. Well, we had a month, I think it was the month of March this year, where we shipped $924,000, and we've got less people than we had then. So obviously we've made some strides in the right direction as far as improving the productivity within the people, finding ways to get more things done with fewer people. Things have just gone very strong for us since January, and we've had a payout in every month in the first 6 months of this year. And I'm talking significant payout. We have approximately 50 employees, and we've paid out $120,000 so far this year. And I would say that this year, more so than any other point in time, there is such an incentive and a buzz with the guys downstairs that, it gets to be about the third week of the month, and everybody's like, what do we need to do to get the kitchen sink out the door before the end of the month?
It's a cultural shift for us. It's something that helps to tie all of the different things together that we're trying to do throughout the organization, so that there's something in it for everybody. Yes, it's an incentive program, but it's so much more than that. It ties all of that together.
Certainly it's given us a system to work with and a new element in our business that we didn't have before. And it's enabled us to make advancement in our company. We've seen our on-time delivery improve. We've seen our quality improve. I think we definitely have a workforce that's more engaged and understands the business better. It's complemented other things that we've wanted to do. We haven't done gain sharing in isolation or just for the sake of gain sharing. So it's really been a support mechanism for running the business and has put some structure to that.
The next reason is there's no measurement. This is a hard thing because it takes discipline, but it's essential. We're talking about direct accountability here. If I don't do everything that I should do, that I'm supposed to do, will it show? Will people be able to see it? Will they notice? So how is my performance measured in a way that shows that I'm doing my part for the team? This is very powerful. Often in implementing a gain sharing system, people talk about peer pressure and what they're expecting from that. And they're thinking about what others are going to do or say to make sure that others are performing. It's my opinion that people's fear of what others are going to think of them, or that they're going to notice that they're not doing their part, that really has the influence on getting them to deliver, to do what they're supposed to do. So it's essential that we're measuring to be able to show that people are doing their part, and if they're not, it's going to be noticed and there's nowhere to hide. What gets measured gets done.
I think it's a selling point for us when we recruit new people, but I'm not sure they fully understand the real implications of it. But once they get inside, I think they recognize what's happening because there is peer pressure. There's no question that any person that comes in here is indoctrinated by the people in the plant, not by the company, by the people in the plant, because they want that new person to perform as well as they're performing. So from that standpoint, it's a training issue that the company doesn't have to take care of because people understand rather quickly that everyone is committed to the program and to the company and that they need to do what needs to be done to make things happen.
It's more than the money. It's the satisfaction that you get by hitting those numbers every month.
And with the gain share, it takes a lot of the stress off of having to babysit your employees. Before we started the gain share, you might have employees standing around just talking for 10 or 15 minutes. Like, no big deal. Well, once the gain share really started working and they started seeing it, you didn't have any of that.
And this measurement issue is so difficult because it involves discipline and details and real work, but it's essential to driving the performance, to doing the analysis that you need to get the performance where it needs to be. I've been through this so many times with so many companies, and if they don't do this work, they just don't get there. I got one particular company that comes to mind where there was a lady who did a terrific job overall, but for 2 hours in the day, she wasn't hitting the numbers that she needed to hit. She came in early in the morning and before everybody else got there, and she really didn't realize that she wasn't hitting the numbers, performing the way that she did the rest of the day. She really didn't notice the difference herself. But when we gathered the numbers, we were able to show that this was really impacting the total performance, and it was easy to adjust, and it made all the difference. So the measurement is essential to doing the analysis, to getting the performance really where you want it to be, to where you need it to be. So I ask you, are we measuring, and are we measuring the right things? The last issue is there's nothing in play. Employees need to have some skin in the game. If there's nothing at risk, you're just missing that element of excitement that's so important. And it's a subtle thing, but it really needs to be there. According to Webster's, a challenge is a task or situation that tests somebody's abilities. Now think about it. Are we really testing our employees' abilities? Think about the people that are working in your company where you are today. Are we really testing what's possible for them? Is there some uncertainty, some skin in the game? Like being a lion tamer, the whole job is so much more exciting when Kitty can turn around and bite you. There needs to be some skin in the game for our employees, and it's our responsibility to put it there.
Well, this last one I got, I paid for my husband's medicine. He just had a heart attack. So it's going to be, but it comes in handy for things I need, or else I just save it and put it away for a rainy day.
Just want to work better because we know we're going to make extra money if we get our product out. So, yeah, it's wonderful. It's just wonderful.
A lot of people are definitely
beefed up and pumped up about the thing because of the extra, because of the extra dollars also. It's a lot of hard work because the people are left behind doing extra work to cover up some of the labor that's not here, but they have stepped up to bat pretty much.
If it's all the same to them, whether they perform at their maximum or do the minimum, this leads to disengagement and boredom. So please click on the next segment because we're going to tell you how to fix the boredom problem.